In this module, we're going to be going deep into wavetable synthesis, seeing the kinds of sounds and effects you can create using the oscillators in one of their many different wavetable modes here. So just to explain exactly what wavetable synthesis is, let's go back to this basic shapes preset. As we saw, this is the one I recommended you go to if you want to find sawtooth waveforms, triangle waveforms, square, all the basic waveform types. And if you remember, we got to those by rotating this wavetable position dial. So what that does is it steps through the different waveforms in the wavetable. So a wavetable is essentially just a table that contains these different waveforms. And although we've been using it in a single position here, so just on one of the waveforms, the whole beauty of wavetable synthesis is that you can modulate between these waveforms, which isn't something you necessarily want to do in this instance, because this one is just the basic shapes, which are all very different from one another. But when you select one of the other wavetables, that's when you create some very cool effects, and that's what we're going to be looking at. Just to show you the other mode here, though, first of all, I can click there. So clicking on display changes it from single position to multiple position or entire wavetable view. And now if I rotate the dial, you can see it steps through the different waveforms there. So that just shows you the whole wavetable and how you can step through it. The other view, which we'll look at shortly, is accessed by clicking on the edit tool there. And there you can see the waveforms once again, side by side, but along this section at the bottom half here, where you can actually edit your own waveforms and create your own slices to just build your own wavetable. But we'll get onto that a bit later on. First up, let's select a different wavetable, like one of these digital ones maybe. You can see on this complete wavetable view here, if you like this 3D rather than 2D view, which is what it's referred to in the preferences here, you can see the way that some of these wavetables completely undulate from one waveform to the next. So if we look at it like this and then we rotate the wavetable position, you can see that yellow line there moving from one waveform to the next in a much more sort of morphing fashion. So you won't get it jumping from one waveform to the next, but rather transforming. So let's have a listen to that. Let's select a slightly different, slightly noisier one. So you can hear as it glides through the wavetable there, we get all sorts of additional frequencies sort of fading in and out as the spectral shape transforms. And if we look at the 2D view, and that's what that looks like. Now, a very common thing to do would be to use an envelope to modulate this dial. So let's go to envelope 2 now, drag it onto the dial, and then create a more interesting shape here with our envelope where it goes up and down across a couple of seconds. Let's look at the 3D view of that. So yeah, really interesting slide up and down there. And we can try out some of the different wavetables. Let's just come down an octave. So yeah, all sorts of different cool effects there. And then if we like, we could add additional modulators to this style. So we could use LFO2 here to modulate it as well. Maybe bring the amount right down though. Maybe bring the speed up. Maybe make it bidirectional. This monster wavetable in the spectral category is quite nice. I've just messed around with the envelope a little bit, so it's now, rather than just fading straight out, it's got quite a quick attack, and then a slower decay down to a sustain up the top here, and then a release as well. So I've added some amplitude envelope release, so the sound fades out when I let go of notes, and then you can hear, if I actually just turn off the LFO modulation for a moment. You can see how that's working on the wavetable, which is now going the other way. Yeah, so I just increased the dial there and set the range so it was going this way. I might just bring it down an octave. Maybe increase the number of unison voices. That's creating something really nice now. Might bring down the width a little bit. Nice. And now let's bring that LFO modulation back in. Try bring it down even more. Yeah, it's pretty nice.